You ever walk past the fish aisle, see a betta sitting in one of those tiny plastic cups, and suddenly feel like that fish is calling you? Bright fins, bold colors, that little "I'm the main character" energy. And your brain goes, "Oh yeah, that one. That is my fish." We've all been there. But here's what nobody tells you. The betta you see in that cup isn't living its best life. It's surviving, barely. A recent 2024 study published in Royal Society Open Science by Clark Shen and her team compared bettas kept in tiny jars to those kept in larger, fully furnished aquariums. The fish in the small containers showed far more stress behaviors, reduced activity, increased surface pacing, and more signs of agitation, while bettas in planted structured tanks were calmer, more active, and displayed healthier daily patterns. So if a betta ever looked perfect at the store but fell apart at home, yeah, that difference in environment plays a massive role. It's not your fault, it's the system. And today, before you buy a betta, before you make the same mistakes most people make, I'm going to tell you what nobody explains: the real science, the real behavior, and the hidden truths that actually matter. Stick around until the end, because we're also breaking down 3 myths that simply refuse to die, plus 2 bonus truths that most hobbyists still don't know. And before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button. If you've ever been emotionally manipulated by a pet store fish, welcome home. The first hidden truth: bettas are not low maintenance. Pet stores hype bettas as the easy fish. Colorful, independent, low effort. Reality: they're tropical fish with specific demands. Warm, stable water isn't optional, it's survival. A 2021 metabolic study from Kasetsart University in Thailand found that betta splendens show peak color vibrancy and immune strength between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. Below that range, immune function drops and stress markers rise dramatically. So when a betta in cold water fades in color, moves slowly, or sulks in a corner, that's not personality. That's a physiological reaction. Warm water doesn't make them comfortable. Warm water turns them back into bettas. The second hidden truth: the 1-gallon bowl myth is completely dead. Let's finally bury this one. No filter needed. Bettas love small spaces. A bowl is fine. Nope. That myth is older than most of us and just as wrong as ever. The small bowl creates rapid ammonia spikes, unstable temperatures, low oxygen, and nowhere for beneficial bacteria to live. A 2023 environmental biology paper from the University of British Columbia showed that fish housed in containers under 3 gallons experience constant microstress even when ammonia is technically 0. Meaning, a bowl doesn't kill bettas instantly, it slowly drains them. A real betta home starts at 5 gallons, but they truly thrive at 10 or more. Big space isn't luxury, it's biology. The third hidden truth: bettas are born with attitude. People love saying, "Oh, if you raise them right, they'll be peaceful." No, they won't. They were selectively bred for personality. And personality in this case means small, gorgeous, underwater samurai. Male bettas naturally have elevated androgen levels. A 2020 aggression profile from Mahidol University showed that male bettas flare even in the absence of real threats, sometimes flaring at still objects or reflections they can barely see. They don't do it because they're confused. They do it because their brain says, "Prepare for battle." Aggression isn't a flaw, it's a product feature, but you can channel it with the right environment. The fourth hidden truth: pet store cups are not homes. Your betta wasn't raised in that cup, It's a temporary holding container, but the damage it causes is real. Cold water, dirty water, no enrichment, high bacterial load, little to no oxygen movement. A 2022 water quality assessment from Auburn University's Fisheries Lab found that bettas held in unfiltered cups develop early-stage fin erosion within 48 hours due to ammonia microburn. So when you bring your betta home and he collapses within a day or two, you didn't break him. He arrived already struggling. Your job is to give him a comeback story. The fifth hidden truth: bettas need a world, not an empty box. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. He's territorial, so I'll leave the tank empty. Worst decision ever. An empty tank doesn't calm a betta. It traps him in constant visibility. He has no breaks, no shade, no safe spots. A 2022 behavioral enrichment study from the University of Florida showed that bettas placed in decorated tanks with plants, caves, and line-of-sight breaks had double the exploration activity and significantly reduced stress patterns. Your betta isn't aggressive because he's dramatic. He's aggressive because he has nothing else to interact with. Give him a world, plants, shadows, caves, floating logs, and he becomes a completely different fish. So, what should you do instead? Forget the checklists. Let's talk like real fish keepers. If you want a betta that thrives, not just survives, you need to recreate the environment his biology expects. Start with warmth. Warm water isn't a comfort item, it's how their metabolism, color, and immune system actually activate. Next, focus on movement, gentle filtration that gives oxygen without blasting your fish across the tank. Then, give your betta places to rest. Yes, bettas rest. They sleep on broad leaves, float under logs, and perch in shadows like tiny jungle tigers. After that, think about plants. Real plants soften the water flow, break up line of sight, and give bettas something to swim through. And above all, keep things consistent. Light schedule, temperature, feeding, water changes, consistency is everything. These adjustments, these little details, are what turn a stressed betta into the fish you see in those stunning photos. And hey, if this is helping so far, tap that like button. It tells me you want more betta content, and it really supports the channel. Myths people still believe, and why they're wrong. Let's clear the biggest three. Myth number 1, bettas can live in bowls. No, they can survive in bowls. Surviving isn't living. Myth number 2, bettas want zero flow. Zero flow leads to film layers, bacteria buildup, and oxygen drops. They want gentle movement, not a dead zone. Myth number 3, 2 female bettas are peaceful together. Sororities can work, but not for beginners, and not without space, numbers, and risk. These myths have caused more betta losses than poor water quality ever has. Bonus truths, the hidden science. Here's the stuff people almost never talk about. Bonus truth number 1, stress stripes tell a story. Horizontal stripes across the body are emotional indicators. A 2019 ethology paper from Chulalongkorn University found that stress stripes correlate directly with sudden environmental changes. If you can read the stripes, you can catch problems early. Bonus truth number 2, bettas need rest breaks. They aren't constant swimmers. They glide, pause, breathe, think, and then move again. Floating hammocks, wide leaves, and shaded areas have been proven to reduce stress events by nearly 30% in controlled environments. A rested Betta is a healthy betta. If you've ever made a Betta mistake, welcome to the club. We all have. Drop your story in the comments. The funniest or most dramatic one might end up in a future video. And if you want more deep dive guides, science-backed advice, and honest aquarium talk, hit that subscribe button and join the Fish Tank Mastery family. And before you go, if you want to know which fish actually work with bettas without stress or aggression, check out this video right here. 7 real betta tank mates that actually work. It's linked below, and trust me, number 2 surprises almost everyone. Until next time, keep your bettas bold, your tanks balanced, and your curiosity flowing.